So just so you know, this title, this thumbnail was Max Tuning's fault. I'll explain that in a second. Don't be mad at me, be mad at Max. I'm actually doing a little experiment to prove a theory. We'll get to it in a second. Gentlemen, what I'm getting to now is welcoming you back to the Tiege Hanley, starting a business, building a brand vlog. This one, big number 340. Wait for it. 4, that's what I thought. So, last week there were a ton of business questions, all right? And there was one question by my boy Max. Max, what's up? People shouldn't be mad at me, should be mad at you for asking this question and baiting me for this title and thumbnail. He asked an incredible question that I really think is worth diving into a little bit. He says, with YouTube being a huge focus for you, what are your thoughts on misleading / clickbait titles to capture more views? If the content is exactly the same, the title and thumbnail is the deciding factor on if the video gets 20 to 30% extra boost in views. Do you think you're just playing the game and you have to do it, or is short-term growth strategy is it a short-term growth strategy that will hurt your audience trust in you and your loyalty because they feel misled? So this is a great question, and one that Max, you know a lot about, because a lot of your at least videos that I've seen of you, you have had a bit of a clickbait edge, right? Now, the one thing I do want to say is things are different today in terms of content than they were years ago, especially like when I started. I think in the past like 5 years, it's really like amped up in terms of we are competing for other people's eyeballs and attention. And I used to say that the title was the most important part of, actually no, I used to say back when I started YouTube that the content, that was the most important thing, right? People would search for a video on how to tie a bow tie. The title was how to tie a bow tie. They would find the video, the thumbnail would be me like looking like I'm tying a bow tie, right? Super straightforward, basic, and simple. And it would get a lot of views because it was very simple back then. And there weren't that many people, there weren't 3,700 videos on how to tie a bow tie. Now, what you're seeing is if it's a how to tie a bow tie video, it's probably something about like, you know, can this kill you? Or something like something really like dramatic, and or how never to tie a bow tie or else you're never gonna get any action and people are gonna hate you. And like, it's gotten to a whole nother stratosphere and level in terms of how you try to get people to watch. And, you know, this is something that I am super aware of, and it's also something that I've addressed before. I did a video about a year ago where I got sucked into that trap, right? In terms of you get rewarded at times for very clickbaity videos, right? If it seems like salacious or over the top, people will watch. Now, back end, what you guys don't see, but I see, is whenever you do a title, or whenever I do a title that's sexual, has a girl in the thumbnail, or is a bit clickbaity, you lose a ton of subscribers. People get pissed off. But then over time, what you'll notice if you go into the analytics is if that video continues to perform well, you'll see that you actually gain a substantial amount of subscribers long term. Give you another example. I've done a few videos on like how to make your wiener bigger, right? At first, I post that video, boom, it drops, right? Lots of subscribers are like, yo, you suck, Alpha. And I get it. It's not lost on me. But then, if you look, the video now has, you know, I've done like 3 videos on it. All 3 of them over 1 million views. Why? Well, because people are searching for that. That's the reason, and YouTube is recommending, people are engaging, and so the thumbnail is usually something that, you know, I'm holding like a before and an after, right? That's how they all are that have done well, right? It's a very simple formula. Now, in terms of your question, Max, do I feel like, and this is something that I've struggled with, and I'm struggling with it to this day, because I still, you know, okay, so let me back up. So I did a video talking about, you know, hey, you know, I'm sorry for doing so many, you know, kind of tasteless thumbnails. And I fell into that trap, right? Fell into the trap of you get rewarded by, you know, the salacious, sexual, like clickbaity type thumbnails, but it was affecting me. It was affecting the fact that when somebody would say, hey, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. And I'd be embarrassed. They're like, what's your channel name? And I'd be embarrassed to tell. I knew there was a bit of a problem. And so I toned it down. But then what do? I kind of, to some degree, have gotten back to doing some more like clickbaity thumbnails. Not even clickbait. It's not, and see, that's the whole thing. Clickbait is only clickbait if it doesn't, if the title and thumbnail do not correlate to what you're actually talking about. Every video, everything that I ever put out is always tied to the topic or what I'm talking about. Now, the one interesting thing is that a lot of times my thumbnails are a little bit cringy, but the content I'm super proud of. And so there's a balancing act. But if I would do a straight lace, like, how to be more confident, me standing there like this, how many views it would get? It'd get like 5,000 because people aren't watching that. They're not engaged because it's kind of like fast food. They want the fast food, right? It tastes better. And so clickbait is still, I think there's a place for it. I think where you do run into questions or problems is when it has nothing to do with what you're actually saying in the video, or if it literally is like a lie or something like that. You really have to find, I guess, the right mix or the right balancing act for you. But, thumbnail is the most important thing in any video. And you're competing not only with, your subscribers, but you're competing with all of the recommendations out to the right, or, at the end of the video, or at the home page when you go to, YouTube home. If your video or your thumbnail isn't very engaging, people are going to pass right by it because we are so bombarded these days with noise, right? Noise, it's coming at us. Whether or not it's on TikTok, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, it's noise. And so to compete with that, you fall into the trap of, okay, what do I do? Now in terms of trust, I don't know. It probably does affect things. I got another crazy story for you. Yesterday, I posted a video for, it was a sponsorship for Peaky Blinders. It was for Bushmills whiskey. And I was contacted by Bushmills. It's not, and mind you, it's not the first Bushmills promotion I've done. And I've done a bunch of alcohol promotions. I've done one for vodka, I think like 3 or 4 different spirits promotions before. And the amount of crap I got for this video and this little story was unbelievable, because people took what I've said in the past and took it completely out of context. The comments were, you said you were 12 years sober. I'm like, I never said I was 12 years sober. I said, and what I have said multiple times is that when I quit drinking, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I also have said that I have not had a healthy relationship with alcohol, because I hadn't. I've had DUIs. I've done super horrible things, when I'd been drinking. But when I was trying to quit chewing tobacco, in order to quit, I ended up not drinking, because that was a huge trigger for me. And I was trying to quit chewing tobacco, but something amazing happened. Everything in my life got better when I quit the alcohol. Now, fast forward 6 months after that happened, or 8 months, whatever it was, I started having a bourbon, right? I started watching Mad Men and got hooked on bourbon. Not hooked, I shouldn't say hooked. I started really enjoying getting into the bourbons. And then I tried scotches. And I love wine. And I've said on a gazillion occasions that I love drinking wine on Friday night or Saturday night with my wife, Tracy, And so I've many, many times have specified that I drink alcohol. I just had a problem with it, and so I got it under control. And I've also said, if you have a problem with alcohol, you shouldn't drink alcohol. You should try to figure out a way to get it under control, and some incredible things are going to happen. But for whatever reason, people that saw me promoting this video, or I'm like, hey, I'd like to give a toast to the ultimate alpha Tommy Shelby, because Bushmills is doing a limited edition, Prohibition, spirit for the season, the last season of Peaky Blinders. And I love it. It's great. And so anyway, the amount of shit, the amount of comments, the amount of people who are you suck, I hate you, you lied. I'm like, I never lied. What are you talking about? You took something that I said and created your own narrative and formed your own opinion. Now, do these people trust me? No. But am I at fault? what I'm coming to realize is I'm at fault for everything, apparently. But, you know, I guess the takeaway is you've got to do what's right for you. You've got to make you happy. There's a video. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to post it. If I am, it's going to be on this Sunday, actually, before this video posts. You might want to go and look for it. If it's there, it's there. And if not, I'm not sure if I'm going to post it yet. It's a video that I have had on my list of things and video topics to do. And it's really been on my mind. And this is a morbid kind of video. But I think about often, what is the end game? There's going to come a point at which I am not going to be able to make YouTube videos anymore. I'm not going to want to make YouTube videos. I'm going to get hit by a car and I can't. I'm dead. It's done. Over. I think about Kevin Samuels. I think about the fact that, you know, there are all these people that stop and there's not like a goodbye video or a thank you video. And so what I want to do is basically a video titled My Last YouTube Video. And I want to talk about the things, I want that to basically be like my crescendo. Like, even though I'm going to be posting videos, you know, after this video, I want to think through and express myself and tell people, you guys, what I want you to know. If it was my last shot to talk to you guys, what do I want you to know? What is the key takeaways and message from my legacy on YouTube? And I've been thinking about it now for a while, and it's been building because, you know, the Kevin Samuels thing, and then I did my will and my trust, and so I've been thinking a lot, and then my friends have brain cancer. Like, I've been thinking about, you know, morbid things lately, real things like death, and I want to film it. I want to do it, but I know that I'm going to piss a lot of people off because people are going to think it's all clickbaity, and it is clickbaity. It's a clickbaity title, but I'm not going to have a sponsor in it. It's just me talking to you guys and telling you what I want to tell you if this was my last video. Thinking that at some point it's going to be my last, or I'm going to end doing YouTube videos and somebody's going to search Alpha M last video, or possibly, and this one's going to show up, or it's going to have a lot of views. And it's going to have what I want to say, because I know that a lot of people tune out, right? I know that a lot of people, you know, will tune in for some videos, not for others. But I feel like it's important, and I feel like I've made this why am I getting choked up talking about this? I've made this such a part of my life, and you're such a part of me, that I would hate the thought of not having the opportunity to tell people what I really want them to know. And on that, I'm going to get to some business questions. And for the record, I haven't filmed it yet. And so I feel like I just answered my question. I feel like I got to do it. Anyway, something else I got to do is answer your amazing business questions. If you have a business question, down below, start it with business question and ask. Each week we try to get to some of them. Max, this clickbaity title is because of you. So in terms of answering your question, I'm not sure. Food for thought. Gentlemen, you're welcome to comment and interject down below. All right. So here's the deal. Rich DeStefano says, I'm curious as to how you manage your time so effectively. You have a lot on your plate, filming YouTube, Pete and Pedro, Enemy Tiege, building a house, Salon Posta. To your credit, always seem calm and collected. You didn't see me yesterday trying to deal with import issues from China with sunglasses. Not my finest hour. It says, can you do a 30,000-foot view of your month to get an idea of how you manage and allocate your time towards each business? I'm also more impressed, not by any one thing, but how you manage to do everything. Is your calendar set in stone, or do you tend to just give your attention to where it needs it on a weekly basis? So Rich, I think I've been asked this question before. I'm not sure which vlog I've answered it, and I could have been that you asked it before and you didn't watch that vlog. See, I should have had a more clickbaity title. My time is, and your time, our time is our most precious and valuable asset, right? We don't get more of it. That's one of the things, that in health, that you can't buy more of. I've mentioned that multiple times. Hopefully that sinks in a little bit. So for me, I've got a super rigid, structured schedule. to my wife's chagrin. Like, my schedule, Monday through Friday is like set in stone. In terms of what business I do, like my number one priority is YouTube, right? Because that's the thing that I love doing. It's the thing that I still, generate a large portion of my income from in terms of cash in my pocket. YouTube is the most profitable business that I own because there's not, a bunch of like operating expenses or costs associated with me setting up a camera and doing it. And, I do sponsorships if you haven't noticed, and they pay well. Anyway, so that's my number one priority. Now, knowing that every day I got to be in here, I am getting up at the same time every day. I sit there and I work for about 2 to 3 hours, get everything set and situated for the day. I answer emails for all of the businesses, things that I need, and then I go for my run. I exercise twice a day. I'm super selfish with that because if I don't do that, I feel angry and pissed off, and it's just something that I need to do for me, and you got to be selfish with your time. And then really it's about, different businesses require different time and time constraints, time obligations from me. The house is kind of a project that kind of is fluid. I met my builder and my landscape architect this morning at 8:30 in the morning to talk about the back wall and the neighbors and all sorts of stuff. So little things like that come up. So what did I have to do? I actually got up a little bit earlier knowing that I was going to have to take 30 minutes or 40 minutes dedicate to that meeting when normally I would have been answering emails and doing the work to prepare for my video that I filmed today for, what was it, Bosley. Something cool. I got sent text messages from people that were watching Top Gun, and my Bosley ad or commercial is actually showing in movie theaters like before, which I thought was super cool. So it's got to be working, right? If they're using it. Anyway, and so my day, I've got you see on this vlog, I go to Pete and Pedro every day. I'm the sole owner of that, and so there's more responsibility and obligations I've got for that every night. When I go on my evening walk, I talk to Mike Levy, my marketing director. Every week, Tiege Hanley. All right, I got to film this vlog. That is a priority. I also get on a call with Rob and Kelly every other week. It's an owners meeting every Tuesday, right? That's typically going to be about an hour. But every Friday, we've got an all hands meeting where we're talking to the entire team about things, issues, and really the state of the business. And that's every Friday, 11 a.m. I'm there for at least an hour. And so, influential media, I really don't do much with, right? I've got, people, Terry, Brian, Tom, that handle that. I'm really hands-off there. The salon, I'm pretty much hands-off of that. I've got Courtney, Stephen, and Tony that handle that, so it doesn't really require too much of my time. And am I missing enemy? Enemy is, oh, it's so frustrating, but we're close. We're close to the new website launch, which is insane. I've got this try-on technology that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It basically allows you to try on any style of glass, move around, and we've actually had to have all sorts of engineering and tech involved to get them to actually look like and be the enemies in terms of spec and not just like sample. Anyway, but it's not simple, right? And then with the supply chain issues, that is super frustrating. But we're close. And so in terms of my time, I'm not some superhuman. I just know exactly what I'm doing Monday through Friday. And I stick to it. Area 627, that's a Friday thing. At 4 o'clock every Friday, I'm on a call for an hour with my team. And, it's schedule, it's structure, it's routine. And for me, everything in my life is a routine. It's the only way I can do what I do and accomplish what I accomplish, right? I exercise, I got to do that. I get up at the same time every day. I eat the same thing. I typically wear the same thing. It's decision fatigue, right? I'm eliminating things that take time in order for me to execute and prioritize the things that actually need my attention and what I need to get done during the week. I hope that answers your question. Oh, and real quick, I should update you on the situation with Stephen. Stephen went to Texas, had a bunch of tests, a bunch of scans. The stuff that they saw on his head was inconclusive, so was the biopsy. They did another scan and saw that there's some type of mass on one of his kidneys. But the tumors, the little tiny tumors in his lungs, which have been the primary issue for all this time, were unchanged. So it was kind of like good news, bad news. He's got to go back for more testing. But thanks for being concerned, for all you guys that sent love to to Mr. Posta. All right, the next business question comes from our friend Krunalarj Sanjala. that could have been the worst butchering ever. Anyway, hello, sir. How do you find your manufacturer for your products? Can you tell us the whole process? Thank you. Your videos are really helpful and awesome. For each business, it really depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to private label something or white label something, you just need to do a Google search for whatever the product is that you're looking to do, whether or not it's clothing or grooming products or grooming tools or beard trimming tools, and search, white label or what is it, private label, whatever that is, like, hair product, whatever. Now, if you're going like Tiege Hanley, we had a formula that was completely custom. And so we needed to find a lab that can actually manufacture and then fulfill the orders. And so that's how we went about that. And it was a search of skincare labs or labs, whatever. There's a few of them. Some are bigger than others. For Enemy, I needed to find a sunglass manufacturer. And so I went to Alibaba to find sunglasses or companies that make sunglasses, because Alibaba is an incredible resource for people that want to have things made overseas. And so I found a bunch of manufacturers. I had them send samples of their products. I looked to see which one I thought were the best. And then we started the process of discussing, okay, these are going to be custom. We need to send you, the CAD drawings and do all of that. And then they basically, or I should say, we decided on all of the components, all of the aspects of it, but they basically just assembled it. And that's the one thing that China does really well, and that is assemble things quickly and accurately for an affordable price. But really, your internet is going to be, or the internet is going to be your best bet in terms of finding a manufacturer based on what you're looking to do, whether or not it's private label wine or like anything. Do a Google search, you'll find it. And the last business question is actually another one from our boy Rich to Stefano. This is a great one. I love it. So seeing Tiege Hanley go from literally day one with no customers into a relatively large and very successful business, are there any lessons or strategies you've taken from scaling of Tiege that you've implemented into your other online businesses? So Tiege is a different animal than my other businesses. It's a big business, a lot of moving parts. Not that, like Pete and Pedro doesn't have a bunch of moving parts, it's getting bigger. But the one takeaway in terms of scaling that I would say I've really paid attention to, there are two. Hiring the right people, you can't put a price tag on that. That is going to be the difference between you being successful and you not being successful oftentimes. You got to find people that are A players, that do the job that they say they're going to do, and that kick ass. The other thing is you got to make sure that the environment, the culture of the company is solid and what you want to be. Because in last vlog, we talked to a gentleman who or one of the questions was about, culture. And the boss, there's a high turnover rate. The boss is the problem. And a lot of people are leaving because he's a poor leader. And so, Kelly has done an incredible job in terms of really leading the team and setting the corporate and the culture and the direction of the business. And so Kelly's been a great leader. And that's something that I really appreciate. I am not the greatest leader of anything, of any company, if I'm being honest. I'm a worker, like I'm a really hard worker, and I can go like high level, but I need people around me that are better at everything, because I am not the greatest when it comes to, I expect everybody just to do their job. I don't want, just get it done. Like I don't want to. But like being that cheerleader, I'm not the greatest person. I expect everybody to be grown-ups. I pay everybody really well. And there's a price associated with that. I expect a lot of things from them. But in terms of scaling and other lessons, product, like that's the other thing. Like Tiege's run into problems with like product problems, right? Like the Fishy PM moisturizer and, lead times on some of these products. Like, that's been something where you've got to respond quickly and you've got to not wait because to kind of see like what the magnitude of the problem is. If you know there's a problem, you need to stop it, you need to fix it, because your customers are ultimately the most important thing to you, and the relationship you have with those customers are, you've got to make sure that you do whatever you can in order to salvage and make sure that they feel appreciated. In the world that we live, in terms of e-commerce, people do business with people that they like, and not just who has the best product, because there are a lot of great products out there. Tiege Hanley happens to be the best in terms of skincare, but I'm a little biased, but I'm not even biased. I'm a realist. Something else I'm real about, gentlemen, is that you are better and amazing. What's my tagline? Oh yeah, at Tiege Hanley, we love you more than our double monk trap shoes. If you've got a business question, down below, start with business questions. Sorry, I cried and went long, but it was important, apparently. Gentlemen, you rock. We love you.